Hello, everyone. Welcome to Power Up Your Productivity. This is our quarterly show that we are doing this year. We used to do it every month, and we started all the things with Julie Miller Davis earlier this year. And so it has kind of taken the place of Power Up Your Productivity, where I've added in interviewing other people. But we decided that a few times a year I would come in and do a little training and continue Power Up Your Productivity. So keep your eyes open for this. And it is almost July. I hope that you are all having a good summer and enjoying the long days of daylight and sunshine. And if you're watching in the Southern Hemisphere, then I hope that you are enjoying still some clean, crisp winter air out there. But I really wanted to, not but, I've been thinking a lot about how much entrepreneurs and small business owners work and dedicate to work and business. And I want you to think about it for yourselves because what I have found is that even when you are not actively working, you are probably thinking about or worrying about work or business. So I have dug in and done a little research on some things, and I found this great site from the United States Chamber of Commerce, which you might check out because there's some phenomenal resources and articles on that uschamber.com. And I was looking up just some stuff on entrepreneurial burnout, on adding fun to the workday, on how much we work as entrepreneurs. And so they had a survey that they did at the US Chamber and found that 30% of entrepreneurs work 50 hours a week on average, 50. And 25% of entrepreneurs work over 60 hours a week. And I'm curious how many of you started your own business to work more than you've ever worked. And I think this work phenomenon happens for a couple of reasons, based a little bit on some research that I did in the Harvard Business Review and the Chamber's website, but also just my own clients that I've had over the last 8 years, what they have, why they work, how they work, as much as they work. So I want you to think about, or you can comment also on what is your situation. One, I have one client who is a wellness, health and wellness, in the health and wellness space, and she was working at least 6 days a week and evenings and serving her clients that way. And she told me, she goes, well, that way I can help more people. And also, I just love what I do. I love what I do. And so a lot of you love what you do. And so it doesn't feel like work, right? But here's the thing. If you aren't stopping and taking care of yourself and fueling yourself and your soul and your body and your mind, you will burn out and you will come to resent possibly your business. You may just want to close doors. You may stop serving as well as you can because you're exhausted. We cannot serve at our most excellent level if we are exhausted. There's a lot of research out there that talks about the 40-hour work week. And then we're talking a 50, 60 plus hour work week. At 40-hour work week, we are not even working at our optimum. If you look up circadian rhythms, some people are morning people, some people are night people, some people can adjust depending on what they need to do. And we're not always honoring that part of who we are and when we are most productive in a day. And so if we're working all the time, we are burning ourselves out. even if we love what we do. The other reason that people work all the time is they are not delegating at all, or they are not effectively delegating. And that's a whole other conversation about delegation. But you can also dig into my blog at juliemillerdavis.com and find some stuff on delegation for sure. But people they aren't also surrounding themselves with people with a business coach who can help them dig out of this whole idea of working all the time. And it is largely why a lot of people come to me, is to reset the way that they are going about their daily business. And it's setting new habits and setting new patterns and setting new routines and thinking about business differently so that they can actually fuel themselves. And so I highly recommend that you dig in and figure out, why is it that you're working as much as you're working? So what happens if we're stuck in this working 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week, nights, mornings, all the time? Here's what happens. Our health suffers, which I just talked about a little bit. But also what happens is our business isn't scalable. Like, who can grow? Where are you going to grow to? Are you going to grow to never sleeping? Are you going to grow to working 20 hours a day? You're not making yourself duplicable, and you're not creating a model for yourself that feels scalable. And you're like, I'm so exhausted and I'm working all the time now. How in the heck am I going to grow bigger? Even though I would really like to grow bigger, I can't even feasibly see how I could do that. So that's a consequence. The other consequence is that you're not having any fun. Yeah, you might love your business and your business might be fun, but you're not having any. You're working. You're not having fun. You're not having downtime. And also, if you're working all the time like that, you probably are lacking some routines. I was reading an article in Forbes. It wasn't even an article. It was an answer to on a quorum about burnout. And this high-end entrepreneur was talking about how he really has taken mornings and evenings for himself, and then weekends are dedicated to family time. And before he had kids and stuff, it was about him and what he could do to fuel and fill up himself. And now doing things with his kids, his family, it does some of that. And then he uses the morning time before business begins, before he fires up the computer, to fuel himself, and then evenings. So let's talk about how are you fueling yourself? I want to challenge you to a few things as we talk through this. Number one, go outside. I beg of you, go outside. Go outside. Go outside for a walk. Go outside, listen to the sounds of nature. Go outside, drink your cup of coffee on the patio. Go outside and recreate. So walk or hike or play golf or run or whatever. Go for paddle boarding. What are the, go skiing if it's winter. What are the things that you can do outside? Because you guys, fresh air invigorates and increases productivity. You're increasing blood flow, you're increasing oxygen, you're increasing flow to the brain, and you will increase your productivity, period. I'm going to have a true confession here. I was working extremely hard this winter, a lot of hours, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form going to tell you I was working 50 to 60 or more hours a week. I was not. I was probably working about uh, 30 to 40, I would say, on some weeks, not all weeks, but more than I normally work. And I was not getting outside as much as I usually do, and wasn't taking advantage of daylight hours. And I was really exhausted. My body was exhausted. My brain was exhausted. I felt uh, a little dip just in my energy. And um, and so in May, I shifted back to how I really want to work and dug into I in the summertime, by design, I work about 2.5 days a week on average. But when the end of May hit, I've taken pretty much 3 weeks off of the last 3 weeks. I worked last week a day. The week before I worked a couple of days, but not full days. And it has revitalized me. I feel so much better. I feel so much more prepared to bring on the days. I feel my body feels so much better for having been outside taking exercise and taking exercise. What do I live in the 1800s now? But making sure that I'm exercising, making sure that I'm socializing, that I am taking that time for myself, for my friends, for my family. And I'm getting better rest. And um, I want to encourage you to find a way. You don't have to work 2.5 days. That may not be your MO. It might not be the way that you're wired. However, I want to encourage you and challenge you. This is your challenge, is to see if you can take a half a day off every week. If you want more, try to take a full weekday off. And I'm talking like, do not work the weekends. Try not to work on the weekends, but take a day off during the week. If that doesn't feel good, feels a little scary to you, and I promise things will not fall apart if you're absent for a day. Try it once a month to take a full day off during the work week. Or if that doesn't feel good, then half day, like let's do half a day every week, half a day. The gal that I was talking about earlier, my wellness gal, she immediately started taking weekends off when she started working with me. And her husband was like, what's happening? Why, you don't have any clients this weekend? She's like, nope, we're going to go do this, 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 and this. And it's you and me. And he was like, oh my gosh, I got my wife back. And she was like, oh my gosh, I got my life back. And then within a few months, she was like, you know what? I network a lot of Wednesdays and this and that. And so I think I'm going to take Wednesdays off from having clients. So she still networks a couple of Wednesdays, but that's a few hours. And then she's not working those Wednesdays. And if she's not seeing clients and she has work to do, she can actually work on her business. She can do some CEO stuff. And I teach a lot of that as well, you guys. If we're constantly serving our clients, and we're never saying no to anybody else's time, then we're also not spending time building our business. So there's that whole scalability too. If I am constantly working in my business and not on my business, I'm not able to scale, and I'm not able to delegate correctly, and I'm not able to grow. Well, grow is scale. I'm not able to do things differently than I've ever done them. Another thing you might do is dig in those mornings for yourself. Meditation, journaling, enjoying that cup of coffee out on the patio or just in your living room. Or my mornings are pretty sacred to me because nobody else in my house is up. My son is out of the house now, but my husband sleeps in. And so I have basically from like 6 to 9 in the morning when it's just totally quiet in the house and it's just me. I can putz around, I can drink my coffee, I can do my Wordle, like I can meditate, I can read, and that is my time. So you might find, and that's a few hours. I mean, that's a lot of time, and I don't probably need that much. A lot, and there are some days where I'm doing that from like 6 to 7:30, and I actually work from 7:30 to 9 on things that I need to get done before I start engaging with clients or before I go out and play golf or tennis. And so I work a little bit those days right before I head out the door. And it's amazing in the morning what you can get done if you, first of all, have fueled yourself and your mind and maybe your body, and then dig in and you're like, I'm going to go out and do this thing at 9 that I love. So I'm going to work for like an hour. I'm going to get this article done. I'm going to record my whatever. I'm going to, send out that email. I'm going to do whatever it is. And then from, 9 to 1, you go play, have fun, and then you come back. So that's another way to do the half day. Think about that. It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to work from 7 to noon. It can be, I'm going to work from 7:30 to 9. I'm going to take a few hours off and I'm going to come back and I'm going to work from like 2 to 5. Half day. So you can think about, you took that half day off. You took that window off in the middle. That can also be a half day, and you'll be fueling yourself. Another thing, if outside isn't your thing, that's okay. It's definitely my thing. What are some other ways that you can be creative, get creative? What are some things that you can do to fuel that creativity? Is it journaling? Is it writing? Is it reading? Is it um, is it coloring? Is it actually making art, which some of you might be are a bit artistic? Is it making art? Is it like, what is it? And is it just doing things you've never done before, trying things you've never tried before? That stimulates creativity, which stimulates productivity, which stimulates happiness. So let's think about that and what you can do there. My little notes just turned off on my remarkable. Come back. Another thing I would like you to think about is just finding, here's what we do as entrepreneurs. What we don't do is generally take vacations. When you have a job, or when you had a job in the past, you probably had paid vacation. And so you took your week or 2 weeks or whatever it was off. So I would really like to encourage you to find time to take time off. Now, the ability to do that largely comes with your delegation habits. Last year, I left for Italy for 3 years. Last year, I left for Italy for 3 weeks, and my team kept the business running, and things went really smoothly. And I have structured my business in such a way that I can take 2 to 3 weeks off at the beginning of the summer, end of the spring, because one program ends before another begins, and I have a nice time there. But I designed it that way, you guys. It wasn't always that way. I've designed it. So how can you design it? I have another couple of weeks I usually take off in December. And I work a little bit more in December just because there's less sunshine during the day. But I generally will be like, hey, team, I'm not going to be available for this week or two. Or I'm available on a very limited basis. So I want you to look at, and this is something else that I teach my clients, is how do we look at the overall structure of our business and how do we create time off? And in that time off, you are either telling your team, look, I will be available. I will be checking emails at this time. If you're unable to get fully away, or just goes. I had a client recently took a day off, but she went to a place where she had no service. So she forced herself to fully take the day off where nobody could have contact with her. and she couldn't have contact with the people. So how do you force that? When I was in Europe last year, that was pretty easy because I could communicate a little bit here and there when I had Wi-Fi, but not during the day when I was out and about touristing. So how can you find your vacation time? And please look up the definition of vacation and actually do that. I had Susie Moon, who's on here last weekend or 2 weekends ago, went to Austin for the weekend with her girlfriends. Was fantastic for her, and she unplugged mostly and let people know, hey, I'm going to be gone, just so you know. And she was able to go. I had another one of my assistants. Everybody went to Texas for their breaks this year. She went to Texas with a book club that she's had for quite some time, and they all met and had an in-person meeting with each other. And so I want you to know you can plan it, you can do it. And if you have a business where you feel like you can't fully unplug, let's talk, first of all. Second of all, you can just set the boundaries for when you're on vacation. I will be checking emails at this time. I will be available every day from 3:30 to 4:30 if you have questions, or I'll be checking in and I will get back to you if you just want to engage with me. I just won't turn on my phone until that time. And so you can still set up where you have some time and space. So I am just challenging you today to think differently about how you are going to fuel yourself in order to fuel your productivity and in order to not, I was looking for a better word than that, but to not burn out, because you deserve to have fun and you deserve not to work 50 or 60 plus hours a week. I hope you all have a great day, great week, and let me know what you're choosing to change or try, what you're willing to give yourself an opportunity at. That is it for Power Up Your Productivity. We have some things coming up at JMD Productivity Training that I would like you to know about. First of all, we have our monthly All the Things show that comes up every month. Is it next week? Susie's on here. We have all the things coming up, and we will be digging in with Lisa Rabel of Rebel Girl Marketing and talking about that piece of your business. We also have Unstuck event. Our Unstuck event, our 3-day event, is coming up in October, the 25, 26, and 27 of October. Please go to unstuck.com, unstuckevent.com, in order to check out tickets. Early bird tickets are on sale now. Get your tickets now before you have anything on your calendar those days. The great thing about that event is it is hybrid. You can come on Zoom or you can come live and in person to Colorado and spend some time with me that way and get all the hugs. So please make sure that you are looking at what's happening at JMD Productivity Training. We have all kinds of free resources for you as well at juliemillerdavis.com. I will hear from, hopefully, some of you very soon. Thank you so much and have a good one. Stay productive.